When Grant was in sixth grade, and this really did happen, he wrote a letter to Sports Illustrated. He said, "My name is Grant Wahl. I want to write for your magazine." And he got a response. It was kind of like, "We got your letter. Thank you so much, and good luck with your writing." And that really stayed with Grant, and he was determined to write for Sports Illustrated, and then he did. And I don't think I've met anyone as well-suited to what he loved doing as Grant was.
Soccer is this global sport. It's the world sport, right? And I think there's something unique about that. It's a way of understanding different cultures, politics, history of a place, in a way that other sports don't lend themselves to.
And he'd been writing articles that were critical of the Qatari World Cup committee and potential abuses of migrant workers and things like that.
You know, there's some people who say stick to sports. Grant was the opposite of that. To him, sports was this cross-cutting thing and really a way of understanding all these other aspects of a people.
Even when he was in Qatar for the World Cup, before the game started, both FIFA and the Qatari World Cup Commission said that rainbow paraphernalia would be just fine. And then they changed their mind.
And so to him, to say, you know, these things don't matter, that's not part of the sports story, to him that was really artificial because that was part of the story.
I knew that he was going to wear the rainbow soccer shirt. He'd asked me what I thought about that, knowing that I'd lived in the Middle East. And we were all worried, but Grant was gonna be Grant no matter what. Grant felt like, this is something I can do because I've grown up with a gay brother and I've seen things that have happened to him. I know about things that have happened to him, and that made me really proud. I had been following him along on Twitter that day and noticed that he had stopped tweeting, and that wasn't unusual. And we went from a text that said, "Grant has collapsed at the stadium," and even then we thought, well, Grant overworked himself. And then I had another text that said, "They're giving Grant CPR," and I was a little more worried. And then the last text I had from Celine just said, "He's dead."
Tributes have been pouring in today for pioneering soccer journalist Grant Wahl. Wahl, who was 49, died Friday while covering the World Cup in Qatar. He had chronicled the sport for more than 2 decades, including right here at CBS.
As soon as he passed away, rumors started flying, a whole bunch of different rumors. Rumors that his activism had led the government to target him, or that it was COVID vaccines. And I also really wanted to know, but also wanted to put some of those misconceptions to rest. He died on a Friday. He was here by Tuesday. Immediately was transported for an autopsy, and we had preliminary results by the end of the day.
They say Grant died from aortic dissection.
And his aneurysm was so big, it probably would have been picked up on just a basic x-ray.
How did we not notice this? How did Grant seem so healthy? You know, he did rowing all the time, and he was a very active person.
The other thing, and I didn't know this at the time, the New York City Medical Examiner's Office is the only one in the country that does whole genome sequencing as part of an autopsy. And that's what actually helped us understand that this might be related to a genetic mutation. And that's how I also ended up reaching out to Dr. Milowitz and to the John Ritter Foundation for assistance with, you know, how do you move forward on research on this issue.
Was this going to happen to me the same way it happened to Grant? Being armed with the information about what happened to Grant effectively saved my life. And that's humbling. And I know what to do. I know what to look for. I know how to talk to healthcare providers about that. 7 months ago, I didn't know any of this.
If there is a family history of something like this, whether it's aortic aneurysms or something else, be part of the solution, which means advocating for research on these issues, engage in the research. These issues are never going to get solved if you're not engaging and part of the solution, enrolling in studies so that we can better understand what causes this. this is and has been one of the most commonly missed diagnoses. It's number 1, number 2 in every study of autopsy. So if you're looking to improve medicine's ability to make diagnoses of preventable death and one of the most commonly missed causes of death, this is the one.